Good day, sir. I am Rex Maynard together with my group mates. We will be discussing the special crime investigation and understanding its scope, classification, and case studies. So, what is special crime investigation? Special crime investigation refers to specialized methods and techniques used by law enforcement to investigate complex and high-profile crimes that requires expertise beyond standard investigative procedures. And special crime has its own classification. First, it is the complex fraud cases. Complex fraud cases involves intricate schemes designed to defraud individuals, businesses, or government of large sum of monies or valuable assets. These schemes often involves multiple individuals or organizations working together to conceal their activities and evade detections. Example of that is the international money laundering, illegally obtained funds, insurance fraud, and fabricated property damage. So, the tax fraud and etc. So, let's continue to the example where it is the international money laundering. It is when the criminal organizations utilize complex networks of sales, companies, offshore accounts, and cryptocurrency transactions to disguise the origins of illegally obtained funds. So, and the tax fraud individuals or business is use illegal methods to avoid paying taxes, such as creating false deductions, hiding income, or engaging in offshore tax havens. The second classification of special crime is the human trafficking. So, human trafficking is a modern form of slavery that involves recruitment, transportation, transfer, harboring, or receipt of persons by means of force, fraud, or coercion for the purpose of exploitation. Victims are often forced into labor exploitations, sexual exploitations, or other forms of servitudes. Example of that is the sex trafficking, where the victims are forced or coerced into commercial sex acts, often through false promises, threats, violence, or debt bondage. Second is the labor trafficking. Victims are forced or coerced into working under exploitative conditions, often with a little or no pay, threats of violence, or restrictions of freedoms of movement. The third is the debt bondage. Victims are forced to work off uh, to pay off the debt that they may not they may not incurred or that is impossible to repay. And the last is the organ trafficking. Victims are exploited for their organs, often through coercion, deception, or violence, and etc. The third special crime classification is the cybercrime incidents. Cybercrime incidents involve illegal activities carried out using computers and internet. The crimes can range from stealing personal information and financial fraud to hacking and spreading malicious software. Cybercrimes poses a growing threat to individuals, businesses, and government worldwide. Example of that is the phishing, ransomware, malware attacks, denial of services or DOS, and the data breaches. So let's take a look by the data breaches. Hackers gain unauthorized access to sensitive information stored in a computer system such as personal data, financial records, or intellectual property. The fourth cybercrime, the fourth specialized crime is what we call the organized crime or organized crime syndicate. Organized crime syndicates are the groups that plan and execute illegal activities on large scales, often with a hierarchical structures and code of silence to protect their operations. These syndicates often operate in multiple countries and engage in a wide range of criminal activities, including drug trafficking, human trafficking, money laundering, and extortions. Example of that is the Mafia or the La Cosa Nostra. Originally in Italy, particularly Sicily, Sicily, the Mafia has long history of involvement in various criminal activities, including drug trafficking, extortion, gambling, and loan sharking. Also, there is in Japan what we call as the Yakuza. Japan's powerful crime syndicate known for involvement in gambling, prostitution, drug trafficking, and extortion. So let's proceed to the fifth special crime classification. It is the terrorism-related investigation focused on uncovering and disrupting terrorist activities, which involves acts of violence or threats of violence intended to intimidate or coerce government or civilians for political and ideological purposes. This investigation often involves complex financial transactions, surveillance, and intelligence gathering. Sample of that is the investigating terrorist financing. Law enforcement agencies work to track and disrupt the flow of funds used to support the terrorist activities, often involving complex financial transactions, money laundering, and shell companies. Surveillance and intelligence gathering. Authorities use various methods to monitor suspected terrorists, collecting intelligence and identifying potential targets, and interrogation and evidence collection. Law enforcement officers conduct interviews and gather evidences to build criminal cases against suspected terrorists. And last is the counterterrorism operations. Government and security agencies conducted operations to prevent or disrupt terrorist attacks, often involvement of military force, intelligence gathering, and border securities.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Rofami Sumalpong, and I'm gonna tackle about specialized units. The first one is about cybercrime units. These units specialize law enforcement or private organization that focuses on preventing, investigating, and combating crimes committed using technologies. We cannot call it cybercrime without technologies, of course, primarily the internet. These units handled cases related to various forms of cybercrimes such as hacking, online fraud, and dark web crimes or ransomware. And let's proceed to special victims units. These units of course handled sensitive and complex crime involving particularly vulnerable victims that needs or requires additional care and support. Protection. Due to the nature of crime they have experienced that may cause them traumas. The example is sexual assault, child abuse. Let's proceed to the third unit, which is the counterterrorism unit. This unit is specialized division within law enforcement, military, and intelligence. These agencies dedicated to prevent, investigate, and responding to acts of terrorism, of course, such as terrorist threat detecting, counter-terrorist operations. It happens through raids or military interventions. Another example is surveillance and monitoring. This this example is about tracking the communications, movement, and activities of individual or group suspected of planning terrorist activities. The fourth one is about organized crime task forces. This unit focus on criminal enterprises involving in illicit activities to for profit. This one is they want to gain something to do. This includes drug trafficking, human trafficking, and money laundering, smuggling, and other crimes run by organizations such as mafia, gangs, and syndicates. Let's proceed to the last unit, which is the forensic teams. This unit is a group of specialists who are responsible for investigating, analyzing, and collecting evidence from the crime scene or incident in a scientific and systematic manner. This work this work is critical in criminal investigation because as they help law enforcement agencies to gather and interpret physical, digital, or biological evidences that can be used in the court to solve crime and prosecute offenders. The example of evidence that needs forensic teams is DNA analysis, toxicology, ballistics, trace trace evidence like trace evidence analysis, and autopsy. Again, the five units are cybercrime units, special victims units, counterterrorism, organized crime task forces, and the last is forensic teams. Those five units is very important to specialize crime investigation. That's all, and now let's proceed to the next reporting. Thank you.
Good day, everyone. I am Giselle B. Malimit, and I am here to discuss to you about the multidisciplinary approaches of special crime investigation. First, there is a collaboration with federal agency like FBI, DEA. So, when we talk special crime investigation, in multidisciplinary approaches, so this is it's a big span or big collaboration between the federal agencies. So, next, there is also involvement of social services and NGOs. So, when we say investigation, so therefore there is a lot of areas or services and organization we will consider in order to solve crimes. And also there is an involvement of utilization of technology. Yes, it is very what you call this it is very necessary to have utilization of technology because now we have the high-tech generation, so it helps us to analyze data for surveillance. There are a lot of tools or materials that came from the technology. You can use computers, a lot of things. So it is part of approaches. Next, and the last one, the the legal experts from prosecution support. So supports of the legal experts, a lot of things their capabilities, their skills, so their expertise will be necessary and big impact in order to solve different crimes, especially in investigating. So that's all for multidisciplinary approaches. Thank you.
Good day, sir. I am Regine Solis Pipito, and I am the fourth reporter of this group. So my assigned topic is all about categories of special crime. And one of the example of categories of special crime is the cybercrime. So, what is cybercrime? So, cybercrimes are illegal activities conducted via the internet or involving computer system and networks. They encompass a wide range of offenses including hacking, identity theft, phishing, ransomware attacks, online fraud, and the distribution of malware. These crimes target individuals, organizations, or governments and can result in financial loss, data breaches, and other significant impacts. So, let's talk about the offenses of cybercrime. So first is hacking. So what is hacking? So hacking is an unauthorized access to computer system or networks with the intent to steal, alter, or destroy data. Hackers may exploit vulnerabilities in software, use malware, or employ social engineering tactics to gain access. Their actions can lead to data breaches, financial loss, and significant disruption for individuals and organizations. And the next is the identity theft. So, identity theft occurs when someone unlawfully obtains and uses another person's personal information, such as social security number or credit card details, to commit fraud or other crimes. This can lead to financial losses, damaged credit, and significant personal stress for the victim. And the next is the phishing. So, phishing is a type of cybercrime where attackers impersonate legitimate entities, often via email or fake websites, to trick individuals into revealing sensitive information like password or credit card numbers. The goal is to gain unauthorized access to account or commit fraud. And then another one is a ransomware attack. A ransomware attack involves malicious software that encrypts a victim's data, making it inaccessible. The attackers then demand a ransom, usually in cryptocurrency, to provide the decryption. Okay? If the ransom isn't paid, the victim will lose access to their data permanently. So, and then another offenses for the cybercrime is the online fraud. Online fraud is it involves this deceptive practices conducted over the internet to gain financial or personal benefits unlawfully. It includes various activities such as fake online stores, fraudulent investment schemes, and phishing scams. The goal is to trick individuals or businesses into disclosing sensitive information or making payments under false pretenses. And then another one is the distribution of malware. It involves spreading malicious software such as viruses, worms, or ransomware to infect computer system. This can be done through various methods including email attachments, malicious websites, or infected software downloads. Once distributed, malware can damage data, steal information, or compromise system security. So that's all, and thank you, sir.
So, good day everyone. So, my name is Niconel V. Durumal from B Scream third year Alpha. So, I will be discussing the Operation Cross Country in targeting or combating the human trafficking in the US. So, in the duration of this discussion, we will tackle about the first is the background of the Operation Cross Country. Next is the overview. Next is the specialized units involved, outcomes, and the techniques used and challenges encountered while doing it and last is the lessons learned. So first we will tackle about the Operation Cross Country. So the background of Operation Cross Country, it is a national law enforcement initiative aimed at combating human trafficking in the United States. So it is focused only on United States. The operation is coordinated by the Federal Bureau of Investigation, or FBI for in short, in collaboration with various state, and federal agencies, as well as in non-governmental organizations or NGOs. This operation focuses on identifying and rescuing minors and adults who are victims of human trafficking, particularly those involved in sex trafficking. So, so this operation only not only focuses on the youth, but also in the adult, as long as they are involved in they are victims of the human trafficking, especially on the sex trafficking. Yes. So the Operation Cross Country has the four objectives. So first is to rescue the victims, to identify and rescue minors and adults being trafficked for sexual exploitation. Second is to arrest traffickers. The target and apprehend those individuals and networks involved in human trafficking. So third is to raise awareness, increase public and law enforcement awareness about human trafficking. So, last but not the least is a strength and partnership. So, strength and partnership to enhance cooperation among law enforcement agencies, NGOs, and community organizations. So, the strategies or the techniques used in the duration of the operation. So first, there are four again. First is the intelligence gathering. So we all know that in every operation, law enforcement operation, the intelligence reports is very crucial and important. So they will use in their techniques in accomplishing this operation is first is the intelligence gathering. So they use data analysis, undercover operation, and tips from the public to locate trafficking hotspot and identify potential victims. So they use the public and such an other undercover operation to locate and identify the potential hazardous zone or potential areas which they may be locate and apprehend those traffickers and rescue those victims. So second is the collaborative operations. So we all know that in every law enforcement operation, the most important is the collaboration among the public. So in this operation, the local police and federal agencies and NGOs to conduct simultaneous raids and operations and intervention across various jurisdiction. So third is the victim support. So after they rescue the victims, they provide immediate assistance, including medical care, uh, psychological support, and legal aid to rescue individuals. So fourth is the public awareness campaigns. So in order to lessen the lesson to listen the victims and also to have a general deterrence among those who want to commit human trafficking. So they raise public awareness campaigns. So they use media campaigns to educate the public public about the signs of human trafficking and how to report suspected cases. Yes. The fourth is the execution. So the execution of the execution of this operation is a part of the technique and strategies. So first is the pre-operational operation planning. So prior to the conducting of the prior to the conducting of the said operation, they first have the pre-operation planning. So under the pre-operation planning is the data analysis. So in data analysis, they analyze patterns and trends in human trafficking through collective data and tips from prior investigations. So second is training. No, uh, training in order to training. The goal of training is to provide specialized skills for law enforcement officers on identifying and handling trafficking cases sensitively. So we all know that special crime investigation is very crucial, very how do we call it? Very fragile, very delicate task. So in order to achieve our goal, we must train those person who execute the said operation. So next is the coordination. So coordination establishes a command center to coordinate efforts and communication among participating agencies. So second is the field operations. So under the field operation is the raids. First is the raids. So raid is conduct undercover operation at identified locations such as brothels, strip clubs, and other avenues known for trafficking activities. So after the raids is the rescue missions. So they deploy teams to rescue victims, ensuring that they receive immediate medical and psychological care. So next in the rescue mission is to arrest the suspect traffickers. They arrest suspect traffickers and individual facilitate identify potential victims. So they use the public and such an other undercover operation to locate and identify the potential hazardous zone or potential areas which they may be locate and apprehend those traffickers and rescue those victims. So second is the collaborative operations. So we all know that in every law enforcement operation, the most important is the collaboration among the public. So in this operation, the local police and federal agencies and NGOs to conduct simultaneous raids and operations and intervention across various jurisdiction. So third is the victim support. So after they rescue the victims, they provide immediate assistance, including medical care, uh, psychological support, and legal aid to rescue individuals. So fourth is the public awareness campaigns. So in order to lessen the lesson to listen the victims and also to have a general deterrence among those who want to commit human trafficking. So they raise public awareness campaigns. So they use media campaigns to educate the public public about the signs of human trafficking and how to report suspected cases. Yes. The fourth is the execution. So the execution of the execution of this operation is a part of the technique and strategies. So first is the pre-operational operation planning. So prior to the conducting of the prior to the conducting of the said operation, they first have the pre-operation planning. So under the pre-operation planning is the data analysis. So in data analysis, they analyze patterns and trends in human trafficking through collective data and tips from prior investigations. So second is training. No, uh, training in order to training. The goal of training is to provide specialized skills for law enforcement officers on identifying and handling trafficking cases sensitively. So we all know that special crime investigation is very crucial, very how do we call it? Very fragile, very delicate task. So in order to have in order to achieve our goal, we must train those person who execute the said operation. So next is the coordination. So coordination establishes a command center to coordinate efforts and communication among participating agencies. So second is the field operations. So under the field operation is the raids. First is the raids. So raid is conduct undercover operation at identified locations such as brothels, strip clubs, and other avenues known for trafficking activities. So after the raids is the rescue missions. So they deploy teams to rescue victims, ensuring that they receive immediate medical and psychological care. So next in the rescue mission is to arrest the suspect traffickers. They arrest suspect traffickers and individual facilitating the trafficking operation. So in this case, they arrest and apprehend those individual uh, suspect suspected as traffickers. So third is the pre-operation activities. So after those pre-operational planning, field operation, next is the post-operation activities. So under the post-operation activities is the victim's assistance. So after they are rescued, they are rescued by individuals and they must be given a full support services including shelters, counseling, and legal advocacy. Second is the follow-up. Continue continue investigation to disseminate trafficking networks and gathered evidences for prosecution for those who violated or those who are suspected on trafficking. So third is the operation. No, the reporting. So document the outcomes of the operation and share findings with stakeholders and the public to raise awareness. So after those rigorous operation, the outcomes. So number one is victims rescue. So over 100 victims. So according to my research, um, there are there are uh, there are 200 victims during the first 2 weeks of August in the 2022. This is on the 2022 record. So as of now, they must be they may be raised, no. So there are 200 victims during the first week of August of human trafficking and related crimes. So uh, and those 150 pimps and individuals, no, they arrest 150 pimps and individuals. So yes, so that is the outcomes of the operation. So second is trafficker arrested. So no, 150 plus as of this record and as of 2022. So they are charges they were arrested and charges related to human trafficking and exploitation. So third is the increased awareness. So the outcome of this operation is to the one of the outcomes of this operation is to raise the public awareness campaign lead to 30% increase in tips and report of suspected trafficking cases. So the last one is strengthen partnership. So this operation strengthened and enhanced collaboration among federal, state, and law enforcement agencies as well as those NGOs. So lesson learned. So the lesson learned here is the importance of the collaboration. So effective human trafficking operation required robust operation between various agencies and organizations. Building strong partnership is a crucial for success of interventions. So second is need for specialized trainings. Now, law enforcement officers need specialized training to handle trafficking cases appropriately and sensitively, especially when dealing with minors. Mhm. So third is to public engagement. So raising awareness and educating the public about human trafficking can significantly increase the number of tips and leads, aiding in the identification and the rescue of the victims. So last is the support system. Providing immediate and comprehensive support to victims is essential for the recovery and integration back into a society. So, if I have a recommendations, so recommendation is to first to enhance training programs. So, no, yes. So, the more we enhance training programs, the more advanced training modules for law enforcement and support personnel focuses on handling trafficking cases and support victim support. Yes. Second is the expand of the public awareness campaigns. So increase in reach of frequency of public awareness initiatives to keep the issue of human trafficking at the forefront of societal concern. Third is the services, uh, strengthen victims services. So ensure the victims have access to a long-term support services, including education and job placement assistance. So fourth, the last one is invest in technology. So utilize advanced technology and data analysis to improve the identification of trafficking patterns and facilitate more effective operation. So that's it. So thank you everyone for listening. Mabuhay.